Hi guys, this is Vaibhav, Raja, both of us are here. Let's start with a quick round of update from everyone. And we'll give you, then after that, what we would like to do is also share with you what we think is the plan that we've been sort of sharing with the larger community outside, and at the same time with a few of the foundations to be able to work with us in going into phase 2 while we get things in order for that parallelly. But let's go around and then we will get to this.
Yeah, so perfect. So if somebody could, Praveen, go for it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, I lost all the things I said. I just joined in. So you said Praveen, right? Just confirming.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think zeolite order has been placed. I think today morning they shared a dispatch details with on the email. I think even Vaibhav and others are marked. So it's already been shipped.
Right.
And the other thing which Anul actually just pinged me this afternoon to check with Thermax India.
Yeah.
Thermax India makes like boilers and all this stuff. So they might have some access to zeolite. So I'm trying to see if I can get access to someone in their purchase department or any of those things. And the zeolite is not their product. One of the things I learned, but perhaps we can reach out from, this is more of an emergency situation. So I'm just trying to get access to someone who can be, it's a huge organization. I, in fact, used to work with them like 15, 16 years back.
Oh, wow.
So I know, yeah, so I know those guys are like, I mean, there might not be one single point of contact. There might be multiple points of contact. So I'll give me like 2-3 days to sort it out and see if I can reach to someone who might be able to take a decision more than anything else.
Praveen, a quick question. Do you think Aditya Birla Group also manufactures anything around zeolites and stuff? Would you know?
I don't think so, because they are mostly in the dyes and other part of the
about the chemical processes. Right?
Yeah. So I think Thermax, I think if Anul's brother-in-law did mention Thermax, there might be a good reason. I don't know what could be the good reason, but I think I might just be able to get access to them and see what we can do.
Okay, done.
Awesome. Whereas our current source does have, I do feel our current source is a bit expensive, especially after that day when Maya did share, like they could get it for like $8 per kg. Right now we are spending as much as $13 per kg.
Yeah.
So by the time it comes to scaling, I'll continue looking for perhaps a better, yeah.
But another thing would be that we could also consider completely sourcing that part directly from Mahir.
I'm actually thinking that, because see, for
wait, hold on, guys. Sourcing directly from there is a problem, because I'm trying to set up a direct supply chain and then over to you guys. But let me know what you guys want, and I will definitely try to.
Just a sodium zeolite.
Yeah, as an
Mahir. And at the same time, even Naomi from China reached out. She's like, the real sexy cyborg. But handle, she's amazing. She's one of the coolest makers out there.
Yeah.
She reached out and she wants to be able to send us a bunch of zeolites. So we can get in touch with her as well.
Well, with the zeolite, I could definitely I think that stuff's gonna have to flow through me anyway, right? With the Honeywell guys. So because they usually deal in like freaking, truckloads, at least minimum orders kind of thing, like huge pallets. So I got 16 drums over here, guys, by the way, but I think, gosh, 4 of them just disappeared in orders. And even sodium, lithium is way backed up, like 16, 20-week lead time. Sodium is still backed up. They kind of squeeze me in. If you, I can basically beg again, right, to squeeze me in. And
are you getting them from Honeywell?
I'm working directly with Honeywell UOP. I mean, their top execs are. I've been working with them for like
maybe we can just look for Honeywell in Pune or something. Maybe we can just try them for here.
Yeah. I think Anul was in touch, but we can also look at the Honeywell option in India, right, Mahir? Are you connected with anyone here in India directly?
I think my understanding is their manufacturing facilities for the zeolite is actually here in the United States, so that we can they could ship the drums and stuff here. But guys, I mean, look, man, we've tried every single parts and all the different folks out there. And I mean, you know, Honeywell's a Fortune 100 company, right? And they're, and then the nice thing is, I mean, I've been working directly with their head of R&D for the concentrators.
So
I mean,
we're waiting for people to join in, I guess.
So
fair enough. So I think, I think just as a wrap up on this piece, one, of course, we are trying to source this, but second option of hello. Hello, can you hear us, Anul? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I think Anul is then lost.
Yeah, I think Anul is missing. Yeah.
Okay, fair. No, so the point, just trying to sort of wrap up this conversation. So of course, Praveen, we'll keep looking at it, or otherwise as an option two, we obviously look at Maher and his resources from Honeywell, and as option three, we're also talking to Naomi in China, and let's see what she can do as well. She's found it.
Yeah, let's get, I was mentioning earlier, if we could do this, it'd be great. Okay.
Yeah.
I was not to suggest and know about this. If we can, you know, get the zeolites from different manufacturers, right?
Yeah.
And then create a scientific process where we basically just swap out sieves, make sure that they're exact same size to test performance of the different zeolites, right? So we can have a scientific approach, right? And yes, so, I mean, we need zeolite stuff from all over the world, right? And by the way, I got, you know, huge discounts from DHL, for example, and FedEx. So we can airship stuff for in the top 2-3% tier of discounts, which I'm passing on to our network and you guys as well. But the main thing is lead time. So I'd say you guys figure out how much you want, how many drums you want, and then let me go beg and plead and do my thing and try to get us pushed in front of the line. But I can, you know, that's going to be something that I've got to get their attention. But like, please, we got this all over India, all this stuff, and like, it can't be like, hey, we need a drum, right? They're going to be like, dude, you know, it's got to be a lot, you know.
Okay. I had a question, Maher. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hey, so our calculations were like we need around 2 kg per canister. So it's like 4 kg per whole unit. Are we more or less in the same ballpark, or are we doing some mistake?
I don't know what the exact conversion is, but right now we're at like 3.3, 3.5 pounds per sieve. However, now that we've got this super cool compressor that's 1800 watt 2.4 that pushes 300 LPM at 2 bar, I think we're gonna go up to 5 per sieve. Another thing we're doing is we're designing to start 100 LPM solution. We're also developing a modular system where you could just pretty much infinitely grow by adding additional stuff, right? So it's about consider 3.3 pounds right now. But consider
actually
5 pounds.
It's just 1.5 kgs in that case. Because you know what, the way we did it was we actually took the canister's volumetric weight and then used the density of zeolite and then calculated, and somehow our calculation was saying it was 2 kg per canister. So, which is almost like, I'll tell you, 4.4 pounds per canister. So somewhere I think we have mistaken, maybe we have overestimated how much we need. I don't know if Anul is on, can hear me, but actually me and Anul, the other day, we just took the volume of the canister and then backtracked the weight. So this is good news.
What's the output you guys were estimating for? What LPM output was that number for?
No, we actually didn't take it that way. We saw in the whole kit diagram, we saw what was the volume of the canister where you fill the zeolite.
Oh, okay. In our canister. Okay, yeah. Just so you know, because there's a diagram, but there's also dead space in there because you got to have the spring. You know, the spring is going to push down and stuff. But
so, in the flowchart, it said fill up the canister as much as you can and leave 2.6 mm at the top. So
yes, that is the canister. But what ends up happening is, you know, you know, I'll measure some more, right? But let me the other thing is the proportions are very important, because if you can, you know, the length width kind of deal, you don't just, it's not just the zeolite, it's how you also how it's proportioned, right? Exactly. So we'll I'll measure some stuff I'm building and I'll keep reporting to you guys. But the main thing is if you want zeolite, put in, you gather everybody, let's do a group buy.
Yeah.
And then let's go beg and plead and try to get in front of Medtronics and all the other guys somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, another thing, what was the granular size at what you got the optimum output?
Teeny tiny, itty bitty, annoying, because when you put it in Mylar bags, it gets in between the little zipper, but it's like 5.05 or 0.5 millimeters. It's really teeny tiny, right?
Okay, so the other thing is right now the access we got is like especially for sodium, it's 1 to 2 mm. The lithium ones are available in 0.4 to 0.8 mm, but I'm assuming one
no,
mm
that's too that's too big. I have that too, right? I have that one the bigger one, because they have different ones. That's too big. You want to go down. You need to go down in size.
Ouch. Okay, all right.
Just one quick question on that from my side as well, Maher. Is it between 0.4 to 0.8 mm, the granules?
Yes, I believe ours is 0.5.
Okay, got it. Fair, thanks.
Yeah, and Richard, the one we ordered is 1 to 2 mm because they didn't have any sodium zeolite in lower granular sizes.
Okay.
There is a 0.4 to 0.8 for lithium, which is like super expensive at 4,000 per kg.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we've not ordered that, is it, Praveen?
No, we didn't order the lithium one. We ordered the sodium in 1 to 2 mm at 1,000 per kg.
Okay, got
So
it.
I'm shipping, guys, just so you know, I'm shipping to India stuff today, right? And I've dropped the price for you guys down to like, I think I'm doing 10 pounds at just $50, right? Of this stuff. That's pretty cheap compared to what's out there, right? So if you guys want to get some shipped out elsewhere, I'd recommend you put in that order, because I am going to be shipping everything, going up to the DHL airport, pre-clearing these stuff and sending them out. So you guys have, I know that it's going to Bibub's place. So if you guys want it to go anywhere else or order some more, please do. And I'll send it out to you guys today.
Maher, just once again, make sure it's on my personal name.
Yeah, because that's how it'll sort of be better at the customs now, I think.
Exactly. And what I'm probably going to do is split some of the shipments. Like I'll probably put the zeolite on its own airway bill, right? And then the fittings different. So that way, if something gets stuck, it's not going to stick the whole thing. You know what I mean? So
maybe, and you can also price value is maybe a gift, is it right?
Yeah, a gift. That's what it says. Like now the customs have been opened and concentrators, etc., can be purchased as personal gift or whatever, personal purchases kind of a thing. So somebody can send it from outside of India as a gift.
Have you guys checked? Some things are gonna be, duty free anyway, right? Have you guys checked the pricing? Check the HS code for the zeolite from US to India, and look at your duties there. Because if there's no duties already, right, or if it's teeny tiny, it's just zeolite, because zeolite's used in fish farming, all types of other stuff, then that medical flag might not come up, right? If it's just zeolite, right? So figure out if there's no duties anyway, no problem, right? Because putting in for concentrator part is a double-edged sword. It's like, okay, free, but then it also can create medical kind of issues, right? So
the one they put in fish tank is the one which is the unprocessed, the natural one, right? So I think the grading in chemical is what my take is. Like the grading in chemical changes the moment it becomes synthetic. So,
well, everything, all that stuff is taxed under one code, right? So whether it's this size, that size, it'll all be one HS code, right? Harmonized schedule code, and it's just zeolite. Here's the code it's under, and look at what your import duties are from the US. I wouldn't be surprised if this stuff is probably free from the US. Some type of agreements with us,
Yeah. Okay.
Praveen, another question. On the sourcing sheet, it would be nice to actually start adding HS codes for all of the items, or at least the big ticket one.
I will look up. Yeah. So
it's handy for everyone.
Yeah, because we're still keeping the option of getting it from outside of India, right? That will be more handy. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, Praveen, for the update. I think I'm going to go next to Krishna and Deepika, maybe from Diverse in Chennai. You guys are doing fun stuff. We're seeing what's going on. So please go out and let us know what's happening in Chennai.
Give me 1 second. Just 2 seconds. I'm sorry, because I got my ADD and I'll forget. Can you guys send me the Naomi contact, whoever you guys got over there? That way I can order some from them and also do some testing here so I could test their zeolite against what we got.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll get in touch with you, Maher, on that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Deepika, go for it.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, before the technical update, I would just like to update regarding, the use case. So I've been talking to quite a few doctors, anesthetists, as well as doctors who are treating COVID patients to sort of understand what is the exact use case of the oxygen concentrator. So a few updates on that. So what they've mentioned is like the first use case is as an interim measure, right? Like before they get hospitalized. So it basically buys time before they get a bed. So they kept sort of reiterating the fact that, like people shouldn't think that it's a replacement for oxygen cylinders. It's more like something which is an interim measure and buys you time before you actually get an oxygen cylinder before you get hospitalized. The second use case is like when the patient is actually recovering from high oxygen dependency to lower oxygen when they're transitioning, right? Like they've been hospitalized and they've had like really high oxygen dependency. This sort of helps them come back to normal, like towards the end of their treatment, right? That's where it sort of comes into help, and it can really help take off the load on the central oxygen supply in the hospital in case the hospital has limited oxygen supply. And apart from that, like as it's already being used for home therapy for COPD patients and all of that. So yeah, these were like the main things. And from what I've understood from a couple of doctors I spoke to in Tamil Nadu, what they mentioned was that in Tamil Nadu, currently there's a uniform supply of oxygen. So yeah, that is something we need to validate further as well, where this would sort of fit in. So yeah, these are some updates from my side, and I think Krishna will update regarding the technical front.
Awesome. These are very helpful insights, I think, Deepika. Thank you so much for sharing.
Just one point, by uniform supply through Tamil Nadu, meaning what? It's available everywhere.
So, I mean, from what I heard, I spoke to a couple of government hospital doctors actually, who are like the dean of a particular hospital. Yeah, I spoke to him, and what he mentioned was that currently, at least in Tamil Nadu, there is no shortage of oxygen. That's what he indicated, at least according to me. Maybe it's the government, but yet to sort of confirm this with other doctors as well.
Yeah, I mean,
So, yeah.
need to verify this information.
Yes.
Private hospitals, if the demand is there.
Okay.
Sorry?
Can you check with the private hospitals as well?
Yeah, exactly. I'm working on that currently. Yeah.
Cool.
And updates about our assembly. We actually completed the assembly today, except that we don't have the compressors yet. So we have placed order and it's taking some time. Regarding the zeolites, even we have issues with kind of procuring 0.4 to 0.8 mm like once, but the max we could find in Tamil Nadu is the 5.5 mm. So I'm just looking at the bomb soon to order at least a 2 mm. But I think like I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can kind of comment on it, right? Like I mean, in terms of what should we go? Can we start with 2 mm for testing, or should we at least look for the 0.4 to 0.8 mm thing? And also in terms of, I also want to discuss about whether we can kind of pulverize the 5.5 mm. So, I mean, which could be easier than to kind of procure on an expensive thing, right? So, yeah, so that's all updates from my side.
So, Krishna, I think you spoke on the sourcing channel on Telegram as well. I think you got the right now is 5.5 mm. So, for experimentation, we have the 1 to 2 mm.
Okay.
which is coming in like in a couple of days. So maybe we'll take a call after that. But I think maybe, like as Maher said, like 0.4 to 0.8 might be the right thing to go, because it's proven they have used it. So
Right.
maybe we should not. Maybe
Yeah.
0.4 to 0.8 is the way to go, and maybe that's the way to search. Yeah.
It's guys, it's not maybe it's the way to go. It is. Because I tried it. We tried it all, right? You know, and I can tell you we tried to go there because other stuff's a little cheaper, right? We tried that. The accurate point is sodium 0.5. That's where you want to be.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
Okay. And I have another question. I mean,
Just one question,
Yeah.
Krishna, before you go ahead, because I think you brought up a great point about pulverizing.
Pulverizing.
I had the same thought, because if the 2 mm or 5 mm zeolite is just pellets, which I assume is a compressed form of the original, then maybe it's actually worth giving a shot to see if we can pulverize it into a fine powder and get to below 1 mm or below half an mm. Maybe we can ask some chemical folks to validate if that is something that can work.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Anuj, can I ask a question? I have a question. Hi, Anurag here.
Yeah, go for it.
I wanted to know what kind of compliance of procurement.
Sorry, we lost you. Could you repeat that?
What kind of compliance or certification we are looking for component sourcing? Executive grade, industrial grade, HEPA grade, HEPA grade.
As far as I think as far as a little bit of my knowledge goes, it's supposed to be industrial grade, right?
What?
The certification.
Yeah, so it'll be very hard to get health medical use case.
Okay.
For a amount of time. I'm talking to a lawyer as we speak.
Okay.
Senior lawyer at Cyril Amuchand, and he's helping us out in some ways to be able to figure this out better. But what I understand correctly is that we getting medical certification and medical use case is not going to be possible in such a short amount of time. What could do is put it as a personal home use item under industrial category is the easiest way to get and start shipping.
Fair enough. Got it.
Okay. Awesome. Anyone else would like to go up next for an update? Anul, do you want to go for it?
I don't know, not much to update from my side, except I am getting started for Goa tomorrow morning, so I'll be there hopefully by night, and get building the Oxikits.
Anul, anything else you need over here? What kind of resources, anything specific you need that I need to be prepared about?
Well, we are going to need supplies, which I think you are able to manage right now, like things like thread seal tape for the threads, or PVC glue, and those minor things.
Yes.
So besides that, I don't think most of the big ticket items are arriving. So
cool.
We have several different kinds of compressors to work with.
Hey guys,
we'll take it as we go along.
Okay, somebody's on mute.
Lastly, any kind of expertise do you think that we are lacking that we should ask for volunteers to join for?
We are mostly under control. Okay, I remember. Okay, here's one thing we need right away is we need to be able to source at least one pretty decent oxygen analyzer to start with. On the electronics group, we are trying to build a local version, which from the BOM that we worked out will come to around 6,000 rupees, which is pretty cheap because the commercial ones are like 25,000 or more. But that's going to take time. And once we build our own kits, we are going to have a way to validate. That's the only way we can tell the doctors, here's what it's doing. So we have flow rate built into the machine, so that is visible. But we definitely need an oxygen analyzer.
We should message that everywhere. That we
Okay,
need an
fair.
oxygen analyzer.
So the guy in Delhi, I think his name is Abhimanyu. I'm not sure if he's here, but he's somewhere on the sourcing group who said he is able to source everything.
I can give updates on Abhimanyu.
Yeah, please. So he
Yeah.
messaged me about where he bought it from and how much it cost him and so on. But I mean, I've been swamped with messages. So
He has not purchased it yet. He knows the pricing and he knows the source.
Okay.
But do we need an analyzer?
Well, how else can we convince anyone to whom we are giving the concentrator? Because it's like, it's the numbers thing. Like you got to see it to believe it.
So then we need more than one analyzer. We need one.
We don't need one for each concentrator, because we can validate using one. It's a handheld device after all.
Yes, yes.
But there are a couple of other things that we are thinking of, which can be included in each concentrator, something cheap. So one of the ideas we've been having in the electronics group is every car has an oxygen sensor for the engine, for the ECU. And those are pretty cheap. And even if they aren't cheap, I think they should be widely available, because getting the other sensors is a problem. The trouble with car oxygen sensors is they do only 0 to 20% measurement. So we need 0 to 100%. So the way out, which is pretty brilliant, is to put the sensor on the exhaust side where the purge gas is being sent out, and measure how much oxygen is left in it. So that gives us a pretty good idea of how much is actually coming from the outlet. So let's assume normal air has 20% oxygen, and on the exhaust, if you're measuring 5% oxygen, that means you're getting 15% on the output as a ballpark figure. It won't be like super accurate, but it'll be a good way of, let's say, creating an alarm situation. So if the oxygen content on the exhaust increases to beyond 5%, then raise an alarm, or if it goes beyond 10%, raise an alarm, stuff like that. So these are the ideas we've been playing around on the electronics group.
Hey guys, just so you know, I dropped in a couple links in the chat. One is for forensicsdetector.com. They have a oxygen analyzer that's interesting. I bought it. It's here. The only issue there is it caps out at 10 LPM, right? But still, that's pretty good, and it's pretty cool. It's $275 USD. It measures oxygen concentration, but also, this is so cool, PSI and LPM all in one little machine, which is fantastic. You could test different points of the machine. That's one. Number two, I posted the Hackaday link to the files for Oxikit. Inside of there's like 30, 40 files, but there's 2 or 3 files in there that'll discuss how to build the oxygen analyzer for pretty darn cheap. Krishna Reddy inside the Pillow Tribe groups has already done so. He's over there in Hyderabad, right? So the how to make it happen and build it for, I don't know, $20 or something like that is inside of the Hackaday website. So hopefully those 2 links will help you guys out.
All right, I missed some of that, but yeah, we'll check out the link on forensics. If it's 10 LPM, we can still use it because we have a calibrated orifice in the outlet, so we can bypass some part of it to the analyzer, and we know exactly how much is going in both streams, and it's linear. So we can have 0 to 10 LPM correlated to 0 to 100 LPM, for example.
Yep.
Still useful.
And having the ability to test the LPM and the PSI and the oxygen levels at different points throughout the system, that's going to be a very useful.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Hands raised. Ravin, you want to
do you remember ballpark how much it costs?
Yeah. It's $275.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Praveen.
Go ahead, complete. Mahir, you're saying something.
I'm done.
Okay. So Anil, like the logic, right, where if you're using the oxygen sensor from the cars, which can detect 0 to 20%, if you're using it at the exhaust, I feel the logic could be like say if the air content is 20%, then what the output of the oxygen concentrator will be, that 20% is considered as 100% at the output, right? Because that's the way oxygen concentrators will work. So technically,
Right.
if you are getting 5%, it's the 5 out of 20, which is basically you are getting 75% oxygen at the output, right?
Got it. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to correlate. So the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
to do
correlate.
it
Okay,
is,
yeah.
we use the real oxygen analyzer to see what's coming at the output.
Sure. Okay, got it.
And
Yeah.
calibrate the code for the exhaust accordingly.
Yeah. So okay. All right. So I
So
just
we-
got.
Yeah,
so
we
got
just
that
hard
for
code some calibration values into it. So
put up a lookup table or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
something like
Yeah.
that.
All right. Got it.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. For anyone else, Gorba, you wanna?
One more thing, because we're talking about this, is again for the guys in sourcing, Praveen or whoever else, is see if you can find low cost oxygen sensors.
Correct,
Both kinds. Ones that can do 0 to 100% for the oxygen directly, and the others from the automobile, let's say, sector, which we can use in a different fashion.
All right. Yeah.
So yesterday's continuing to the yesterday's thing. So I was making the medical oxygen analyzer, right? Like the M19 I think it's a medical oxygen analyzer. So I got it working to basically to read the digital data, but now I have to calibrate it. But I was not able to get a oxygen cylinder to basically get the calibration value. So tomorrow I'll be working on that and hopefully get it working. So at least we know.
For that, if you use washing soda, there's a chemical reaction. Washing soda puts some catalyst, and
Right.
it creates a pure oxygen. So that would be your higher calibration. On the lower calibration, you will do the atmospheric pressure, and in between you have to break it down. In this calibration, it has a plus minus 4% of variation, which is still okay, resolves our purpose. I'm Brijesh, I'm done speaking.
Awesome. So I totally forgot that Anu was talking about it yesterday. So thanks for reminding. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to remind you of that. There are lots of guys doing this. What you will need is you can try laundry detergent. Just check out what its formula is. But otherwise, what people are technically looking for, and if you can see if you can find that, is the sodium perchlorate.
Okay, I'll see if I can get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arjun, you want to go? You're raised. Your...
Yes, I just wanted to ask really quickly. So repeat.
Sorry, we're losing you. I don't know. You're breaking.
Sorry. Can you just repeat the items for the oxygen sensors that sourcing should look for? I'll add them to the sheet.
Anul, that's for you.
So essentially, we're looking at hopefully an ultrasonic type oxygen sensor, which can measure a concentration level between 0 to 100%. And those sensors can.
So Anul, just to interrupt you, okay?
Yeah.
So these oxygen sensors, right? The Honeywell's oxygen sensors, they are like FDA certified, okay? So we need. So I mean I know they're a bit expensive, but they're FDA certified. So in case ever, okay, we want to make them make these like medically compliant, right? I mean because of those certification, it will be helpful.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Hey, by the way,
so just think about it.
Hey, on the Honeywell side, if you send me the links of what you guys want to get from them, I have a master kind of account with them, and I can pretty much get, very reduced. I mean, I basically I'm working with, the execs up there, right? So it's like whatever you want, we got it for you, right?
All right, got you, Maher. I'll send you the data sheet of the Honeywell sensor. And
Actually,
yes.
Check with them.
Sorry, just to there, Maher, is it possible for you to throw that into one of the boxes?
I don't have that Honeywell part yet or anything, right? Like I'd have to call them, or I'd have to get, it's huge, right? So I got to talk to them, and then they'll put me in touch with the right account manager over there, and then we could get them. So I don't.
In case you have an oxygen analyzer and you're shipping us today, if you can throw one.
I don't have any of the Honeywell. The only one I have is that the forensics detector one that I got for that 275, right?
Would that help? Should we?
What's that?
I'm just asking, Anul, would that one help? Should we ask Maher to send that? Is it possible?
Well, it'll probably be cheaper. I think it'll be cheaper for you guys to get it because I know they're a China company, right? So it might be if you look them up, it might be cheaper for you guys and faster for you guys to get it from them directly, right? If you look them up and
so it's $334 with shipping to India.
Okay.
Yeah, go direct, guys. It's faster, you know.
Which is about the same cost as what we found out locally. The guy in Delhi said it was around 24 or 28K, something like that, plus GS, plus taxes. So might save us some trouble and time if we just get it locally for the time being.
Yeah, I think that will be cheaper. I mean,
even if it's a little bit more expensive, but right now time is a little bit more essential, I guess.
Arjun, you still have something to ask, is it?
Yes. So just to follow up on the oxygen sensors, since you were talking about analyzer, right? So
to add something like ultrasonic one has accuracy measurement from till 93%, not 100%. Whosoever have said 100%, that's an incorrect statement.
So is there any other oxygen sensor requirement?
No, so okay, so sensors, there are two kinds. Electrochemical, which the problem is they don't last too long because of the process that they use, and it's a little bit a tricky thing to calibrate them. So you have to replace them every so often, which doesn't make them really suitable for long-term use. The others are ultrasonic ones. Now, I'm not sure which one Brijesh looked at, but I'm sure that we can find ones which can cover the whole range.
Use the same thing in 5 liter per minute handheld concentrators, and this is the exact reason why handheld the small concentrators doesn't give you reading and numbers. It gives you 3 indicator response: green, yellow, and red.
Yeah, but I wouldn't expect those types of concentrators to use really fancy sensors in any case. I mean, they'll try to use the cheapest they can get away with it because it's not meant for medical use. It's meant for recreational applications.
Are you going to put those sensor into the generator itself, or you're just you'll keep the analyzer separate?
It'll be a separate analyzer, so we can connect it to different O2 units and measure their performance.
Then you need electrochemical sensors, not that one, because anyhow, electrochemical, I agree, it don't last much. And another thing is like you don't need full flow rate. You just need a very minute pipeline on top of it.
Yeah, I mean a bypass pipeline. I get that. That's true. But the concern is really about the time aspect of these sensors.
I think that's sufficient for 2 months, 3 months. Like that's what we are expecting. We are not expecting it to last for many years. We just want this corona to pass.
Oh well, 2 months. It's not going away, my friend, for sure. It's gonna be around for much more longer. So we better dig in our heels for a long run in this.
Buy sensors, just keep me in loop.
But I don't know. Also, the fact that they cost quite a bit. So if you can find a sensor that lasts you longer at the same price, well, I'd definitely go for that for sure.
So if Mahir has contacts, I mean, like if he directly sources, so a lot of these vendors in India, I mean, they basically get it imported, right? I mean, it's either German or Japanese. So if we can source it directly with from outside, I think that would be a better thing to do.
Yeah, okay. Let's first iron out and pin down which sensors we're looking at, and then we can pass it on to Mahir.
Okay, amazing. Anul, are you through with your updates or anything else to add?
By the way,
sorry,
hey guys, let me just jump in real quick. Hey guys, if you have anything, especially if it's shipped here in the US, anything here that's sold in the US by somebody, send me what you want, and I've got hacks and tools to get. I could reverse engineer any supply chain. Okay, go straight to just about any supply chain. I could reverse engineer it. Right, so. If you find a specific product, all this product is just branded and labels slapped on it that you like, I'll go jump and have my use my tools and go get the get the manufacturer. Okay,
get the point. We'll trouble you
soon.
We need something for sure. Richa, you had a question?
No, I do not have a question. I was just going to the next update, if there is any on the group.
Burgess, can you update on the training program you're putting together?
Hey, Brijesh here. So we planned in the last conversation, we were doing the calculation that human resource is pretty expensive in US. So what we thought, why not to send a program manager from a factory, just travel to Meher, gets a hands-on learning, come back and start replicating. So this was another travel program to speed up the process. First scenario is we will bring the prototypes, spare parts, we'll spend time in learning ourselves, then we'll think how to scale it up. So Meher had this wonderful idea. Let guys come.
Actually, it was your idea. It was your idea.
Meher supported that idea that let people come over there and replicate it, learn it. So there are a lot of NRIs who are going to come back to India. Meher is in Houston, Texas. They can go learn how to make it. What are the fine tuning? Mahir is a chef. He had given his recipe. Now he's willing to give his art of cooking. That's all.
And by the way, here's what we plan on doing, right? I leverage everything up, okay? And so what we'll do is, this is the best way to do this, guys. Come down here. You guys get enough people from India. We get them from other countries coming here. We'll start training. We could stream the training. All the builders then can get networked, and we learn from each other, share resources. But we can stream the training, bring in resources. Where I live right now, our factory here is the backyard of our Houston mayor. I'm connected with Greg Abbott, our governor. They actually reached out to me, connected with me on LinkedIn. And if we have this big training here, one of the things I plan on doing is, making a big old, marketing deal and getting the media on it. And if we got a bunch of countries here doing this, that's going to get attention. And then while we're streaming, have people post up there saying, if you provide these products anywhere in the world as a manufacturer, reach out to us, go out the farm, you got valves, you got tubing, you got whatever, then this turns into a nice marketing event where all these manufacturers can start coming to us, right? And maybe by the end of that training, who knows, we'll have a whole bunch of new suppliers, whether from Argentina or Taiwan or other countries we're not considering, not just China. So plus you'll learn, and you could go back with an Oxikit in your hands, right? Like you just put it in a box and that's your package. No customs problems. You just go and you learn how to build it and go back within your hand, and it's a lot cheaper than us having to build it and allocate time and resources to build them. We really want to kind of stay an R&D shop and kickstart countries. I'm not interested in I know there's a lot of people, other groups trying to make all this money on supply chain. That's not our goal. Our goal is life's first, right? We need to make some money to operate, but the point being, I want to focus on R&D, and our team focus on development and training. So please, flight over here, flights are cheaper nowadays, and you'll also probably get some good press out of this back in India, for doing it. So Brajesh is kind of organizing that, and we'll pick dates to do this, and hopefully some of you guys can come over.
Nice. I think that's a great parallel track to work on, Brajesh. I think you definitely, between Mahar and you guys will be able to crack that piece while we also run this parallel track of getting together and doing some more stuff here in India as well. I think a mix of everything is required at the moment. So perfect. So thanks for that update. I think we have a few more people on the call before I can possibly give some updates from WebHubs and my side as well today, but I can let the floor be open for a couple of others who would like to sort of give any before we step into the next phase.
Yeah, hello everyone, I'm Gaurav. So I'm from Pune, and I'm having one or two conversations I was having in the morning. And I'm completely new to this entire ecology, what you have already built, because it's in different cities. In Pune, it's completely new. Nothing is yet set in Pune. So I was having few incubation centers with whom I was talking since morning, because we are also working on this prototype which is developed in IIT Mumbai on pressure absorption technique. So when I heard about you guys, I found it interesting and I thought to join to this call. So I'm having few questions. That what's the goal of this entire whatever things, like I got few briefings. What's the goal? Like, do we have goal of going for this mass production in India? Because right now the cost which is coming for prototyping, it's coming approximately 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs rupees. This is approximately equal to $4,000 approx.
No, I don't think so. That's the numbers that we have at least.
Okay.
We are getting numbers of about 35 to 40,000, if I'm not wrong, at the moment, at least as per my overall calculation at the moment. But I mean, from a larger perspective of just to put context to, if somebody's new on this group as well, at least as part of what we were doing at the M19 Oxikit initiative that we sort of started, was more from a perspective of two things. First phase was to, of course, look at the prototyping in India with locally available parts as well, and see how we can use Maher's research and his team's research over the last year and the work that they've done such wonderfully in the United States to do more things from an open source format here in India. So that was phase one of that has been the phase one of the project, where most labs and community organizations and makers have been activated across the country. I think we have over 200 people now in different parts of the country, and more getting added to it as we speak. So one, it was more from activating those locally sourced kind of thought process around the work on Oxikit that's happened in the United States. And second piece of the phase, which now we are starting to develop and work around, is how this can be used as a decentralized network for more and more open healthcare related work that we can do in the future as well. So at the moment, as a second phase of the project, and that was my update and Vaibhav's update for today, that we've opened out the thought process with multiple partners that we've been working with around how we can pilot about 2,900 units of this in 29 states in the country. And this is via the donations and the material cost going to makers in these hubs of 29 states. So about 100 kits per state is what we're looking at. And that not only just looks at looking at this problem, of course, in a short term of oxygen concentrator making and things like that, which of course is primary and very key to what's happening in India at the moment. And I think a lot of other groups and NGOs and foundations are all working towards it in a very united fashion to get that resolved. And we really hope that is the case. But the second piece of this entire thought process in the phase two is to actually leverage this decentralized network and really empower them with more knowledge from an open source perspective, so that even if you can make one as a multiplier effect, you can make many more, because now the knowledge has been passed on to the cities, towns, and villages.
Okay, so see, knowledge-wise and decentralization-wise, things works fine. But the problem here is the time, because every day when we are losing thousands of people across country. So why I'm asking these questions, that if it is related, because in morning when I asked one of the person, like I was talking with few of the team members who are working on it. So in morning when I asked, they said that it will at least require 3 lakhs to 4 lakh rupees as a funding, then only we'll be able to start. I told them that don't worry about the money, we'll be able to arrange money as much as possible. What's the goal? Are we able to produce, can we, like in PCMC, I know many people, those who are interested in this concept, and they can purchase 10,000 kits immediately. But the point is, are we going to produce it in India? If yes, then is it going to be cheaper than the product which is there in the IIT Mumbai? Because right now, if it is costing 4 lakh for a prototype, I'm very much sure that we'll not be able to run. I'm not having the clear picture. So to whom, like after this, I don't want to waste everyone's time. So to whom I can connect and I can get a clear picture that what will be the cost of prototype. If we want to set up everything in Pune, we can open everything, offices, whatever is needed, we can make it free of cost in Pune, and raw material and everything, if you guys can supply. And if money is a problem, we can sort out that problem too. But we need 10,000 approx kits in Pune. That is something is the goal which we want in PCMC and PCMC.
Sure. I mean,
excuse me. Sorry. So can you give us a background, like what you were? I mean, I didn't get that part. Can you just give us a background, like what you were like?
So we are I'm in touch with all the incubators, incubation centers in Pune.
No,
Okay.
that's fine. I mean, what you used to do? I mean, that's what I'm trying to
So, hi,
understand. Like.
this is Anurag here. Vaibhav, if I can come in.
Yeah.
Gaurav was introduced to me from the MCCI group, that is Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
And I have sent you one literature from Sudhir Mehta, who is handling Pune forum for COVID relief.
Sure.
And these are the guys who have raised some funds to import concentrators directly from Singapore. And this is the context, and I invited Gaurav to be part of this. So Gaurav, you can please go ahead.
Yeah. So see this. The first problem is money. If money is a problem, there are a lot of people.
No matter how much money we have right now, it's not going to solve this problem right now. Okay, because the thing is, I mean, like we are like in like an end game. Okay, and like right now we want to do something which we never did before.
Agreed.
I mean, that's like impossible. I mean, like
if we will start making it in-house with this DIY mode.
Yes. So what about that, sir? Hello.
In how many days we are going to replicate this entire thing? Like if we are having a whole.
We are losing you. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi.
Let's take him off.
Even though if I'll get a speed up, it will take 4 or 5 days late, and then to get that.
I think to answer.
Gaurav, Brijesh here. We have started a program where you can directly travel to Houston, Texas, and
why to travel Houston, Texas? This technique is already like very much known to this world.
Sorry,
Gaurav. Point is, what I'm wishing to understand that can we scale it up to industrial level?
See, Gaurav, just to give you an just a small.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
thing, okay?
let's. Hey, can is it okay if we? Dude, you just kind of tone down, like you're kind of yelling and screaming.
I think Gaurav, I think we can take this offline.
And then, you know.
Gaurav,
I don't have any problem.
I think we can. You guys can take this offline, but just to add here, okay. Right now, the biggest problem is okay. I mean, like the compressor, okay, is one of the big problems. Mihir has already talked about it a lot. Okay, that's a big problem. Okay. The synthetic seal, okay, which is used in this compressor. I mean, like I spoke to a couple of guys. I mean, it's really, I mean, like it's difficult to manufacture in India. So basically, what's happening is we have to source it from abroad, like China or like maybe like Europe or US. Okay, and you know the government policies has led to problems which has actually like. I mean, I should not be saying this, but it's a fundamental problem. I mean, the government has caused this situation right now. I mean, like we cannot like just like it's not like we can like change it, right? I mean, we cannot just like overnight we can change everything. It's gonna take time, right? I mean, money. Everybody has money right now. I mean, like Reliance has money, like Adani has money. Everybody has money, but what's the point of money when the policies are not there? Okay, so compressor is a big problem, and there's a shortage of zeolite. Like people are not getting zeolite. I mean, like so. I mean, there's a fundamental problem with planning and governance. Okay, I mean, like you're from commerce, right? I mean, you should have raised your voice when you had an opportunity with the government. I mean, I think that definitely didn't happen, and that's the reason why we are trying to like in the last minute figure out okay, how do we gonna make this happen, right? I mean, that's where we are all working together to make sure okay, let's do something about it, right? I mean, like so. I want you guys definitely like the key guys here are obviously like Vaibhav and Mihir and Reha, right? I mean, you guys definitely should talk about it, but it's not just like you talking to us. You should go back and talk to your commerce and your like governance and so on as well.
We are.
No. My question is that okay, even if you guys fight on like if we keep doing like this, knowledge is always good. If it's a college project, if it's a normal DIY project, I'm completely okay. Just listen for minutes. What I'm trying to understand here that if we have to reach out to masses, we have to scale it on higher number. Every day.
I think Gaurav, I think fundamentally there are different, it's a different conversation.
It's a different thought process.
And it's a different thought process as well that we're going with. There are multiple ways of dealing with this problem at the moment. And I think this is one of the ways that we think it could be scaled more rapidly, more quickly in a more exponential fashion as well. But We are in the phase of sort of testing out a few things. All your answers, all the questions that you have will have certain answers in the next couple of days as well. We are sort of taking a different approach to this problem statement. And I do understand that everyone has agitation, everyone is exhausted with the condition of the country at the moment, but there are different approaches and perspective required to the way that we look at these problem statements as well. So we can take this conversation offline, in my opinion. I think this group has already invested its time to do a lot of work at the moment. And just about questioning all of it at the moment is, I think, a little futile and demotivating as well. So we'll take this offline. Hopefully, if you're on the same thought process and you resonate with us, you can help and contribute. If not, of course, there are multiple other sources and ways that you can also go ahead and contribute.
Yeah.
Let me add in one. Hold on a second. Let me add one thing, guys. Okay. Look, here's the thing. There's talk and then there's walk. Okay. When you guys have over there in India, in 29 different places, a bunch of people making oxygen concentrators using local parts, and you got young people doing this, and they spin these up and they work, and all the doctors want this, by the way, here, right? And you go get some media on that. You're not talking anymore. You made it. The government is gonna be like, okay, what just happened here? You guys made concentrators, like kids made concentrators using local parts. How do we do this around the whole country? Because you proved it. So yeah, that's what these guys are doing. That's what M19 is doing. It's an awesome initiative. It proves, when you prove that somebody could build this in their garage, okay? Of course, any manufacturing, plumbers, electrician, all these manufacturing sites that are doing different things can do it. And by the way, one of Paytm's division's COO, Sabina, who I talked to, is, I told her, I said, hey, you build it. She's going to build it, get 2 other entrepreneurs. I mean, Paytm, the little small company that everybody knows about in India, right? I mean, she's going to build it, get some media. You get her friends who are also entrepreneurs to build it and donate it to the local community. That's going to trailblaze every single freaking other, business and local businesses to do the same, right? So the goal is build a few units, show it can be done locally, and then the government's going to step in, guys. That's how it works. So yeah, that's the game plan.
Also, one last point from the engineering side from me, just to add to what Richa and Meher have already said, is it's taken Meher about a year to make the prototypes, and that has needed a lot of investment in terms of time, effort, money, everything else to get an operational oxygen concentrator that meets the requirements. We are planning to build, or rather replicate, the same thing within a week. That's the plan for the next week, starting Monday onwards. We are going to make at least 3 concentrators, which will be ready by the end of the week making oxygen. So you can see already how the exponential improvement has happened. A year's worth of engineering work is being replicated within a month. Now, once we document that and push it out and send it out to other like-minded groups around the country, that multiplication factor rises pretty fast. We've all looked at graphs for the last 2 years, and we know how things are going up in a bad way with the situation. But it's the same kind of graph that happens with this sort of a project, where also, to bring back some context, last year we thought we were very, let's say, overconfident when we decided to build 10,000 face shields. But by the end of 7 weeks, we had built 1 million of them. And that was just by, in the same exact process that we're trying today. So the question about, how or when we are going to do this, it's going to happen very fast. Is it done right now? No, it isn't done right now. It's going to take a while. But as we keep doing it, it's going to get faster and faster. It's pretty much like a snowball effect. So I'm hoping that partially answers the anxieties that you had about how or what we're doing.
Hold on, watch this, guys. Ready?
I'm really happy that was on record.
Here you go. Here's a mic drop, as they like to say. Go look at the chat. Right? Look at the chat, baby. Look what I just dropped in there. I mean, come on. You got 16-year-old kids that just followed the instruction, got the parts, and built it in their garage. All right, right there on LinkedIn. Look at that video.
This is our mic drop moment. Let's close with that high note.
Yeah, I think.
All right.
Conversation is done.
I think,
I call it done.
sorry, I think, I think there's Lokesh who wants to speak. So Lokesh, please go ahead. I think we've not heard from you.
I'm just amazed to see this beautiful conversation. You guys are doing the wonderful work. And although I'm an engineer by education, I've never done engineering work, and there are some great minds working here. So congratulations, you guys.
Thank you so much, Lokesh.
I have to laugh at that statement.
Just a very small question. I have kids at home, and there are many pests and other things in hospitals also. Why don't you have a cover box on this? I'm just a very pedestrian question. I'm sorry, but why don't you have a cover box on it?
Oh, because we just want to look at it and just look sexy looking at the inside. No, we do actually.
Oh, that's an engineer's point of view, but as a functionality perspective.
No, I'll tell you.
right?
I'll tell you. Well, we actually do. I got panels and soundproofing that we're going to put on it, right? When I'm displaying and I'm showing it to all the makers and builders, right? It's uncovered so that I can kind of, like right now I just posted on Telegram, for example. I'm walking through how the system works on the interior, but I do have a box. It's just panel. You just if you look at if you go into the Telegram group, you'll see it. It's like you just put panels on the outside with soundproofing and some fans and it'll work. But an exposed, cool looking unit. You got a box, it's one thing, but when you got it exposed and people could see all the parts and how it works and whatnot, it's a little different. But yes, put panels on the side, soundproofing, put it in the frame. It's good to go.
Yeah, because in the final, I mean, when we make presentations to hospitals and to households where we're going to use it, I mean, people will probably not like it to be exposed because there are kids around, there are, mice and rats and stuff who can cut the wiring or can be a hazard because it's at the end of the day, it's an electric product. So we'll need safety around it, right? So that's what I was concerned about. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's also the noise. There's noise. So you're gonna see that. Go into the Telegram group. Wait a few hours. Watch. I move a little quick, right? So you're gonna see a covered box today.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Anul, sorry, thanks, Mahir. Anul, do you have something to say?
Nothing really needed to know, man. But yeah, since you asked and just to answer, Lokesh, I mean, it doesn't have to be the way it is. There is a lot of scope for improvement. But consider this as a bare bones, let's say, demonstration project. Something that shows that what it works. As engineers, we can keep improving it infinitely forever. So there's no end to that. But a certain amount of basic changes or improvements in terms of assembly, we can look at it. The point is to keep it simple in terms of cost, in terms of time required for assembly, and so on. So at this point, it's pretty much a skeleton system, is what I'd call it. Covering it up shouldn't be too easy. Just takes more effort, more time, and more expense. But also you have to have certain other engineering insights into it with regards to cooling, for example, once you enclose the whole thing. But there are many ways of solving these challenges, and that's the whole point of getting this group together and start building the prototypes. Once we have the prototypes, we can play around with different.
And it'll be shown. We already got it solved. It will be shown, covered, quiet, heat taken care of today.
Hey, Mahir.
Wonderful.
This is the perfect definition of open innovation. Love it.
Exactly.
Okay, I think amazing. I think if anyone else has to speak before we call it a day, because there's a lot of work still, and I think we're all trying to scramble through a lot of
just want to add. Sure.
Yeah.
Bhanu,
do you want to say something?
Yeah. This is Bhanu from Hyderabad. So I'm starting to put together a document on how to start a local community lab. Just pasting the link in the chat. Just have a look. Still skeleton with some paper contents. So we'll be building this up with Pooja, who is also wanted to add. We'll continue to do that. A couple of people interested from Hyderabad reaching out to me. One is Rohan. Second is Just a moment, trying to recollect his name. His name is Pratik. I'll be in touch with them for the upcoming days and try to put a plan for Hyderabad and find few more people.
So,
Hey, if you want to see a Oxikit live in Hyderabad, Krishna Reddy built an Oxikit. And he's awesome, right there in Hyderabad. You go over there, drive over there, and you'll see it in action right now.
I think it's a great idea.
yeah,
Let me
Krishna
speak
is
with him.
already there. So yeah, you can possibly meet him. And Bhanu, one more quick thing. In the case that you have other folks joining in, I can share an Airtable link just to collect basic information so that, we just have all of that in one place. It's a basic form.
Sure.
So you can just ask them to add it. I will also add them to the Telegram group, post that, so that we just have a little bit of, I'm trying to we're trying to put this together as a little one step into the community kind of a thing, because I think now we have people on that form from over 100 cities, so which is amazing, and more people are joining by the day. So it's going to be really exciting.
Great.
To check that out.
Yeah, I've seen the Airtable link. I'll pass it around.
Yeah, you can
with
just
them.
pass it around. That'll be great. Thank you.
I'll do that. And the message you sent on WhatsApp, I think it's broken. The URLs are not highlighted. Just want to mention that.
Oh no, I think it's because when I message them through the WhatsApp extension or something, you'll have to respond to me for it to get activated. I think. But yeah, I mean, I'll try to send it in a different manner. This is the easiest way that I can sort of push it out. But okay, anyway, that's a logistical problem. That's it a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Fair. Awesome. Anyone else? Or should we call it an evening?
Can I just quickly say, hi, this is Ahmed. I'm originally from Aligarh. I'm currently in Ohio, USA. If anybody here can stay like a couple minutes after we're done with the meeting, I just have some catching up to do and had some questions. Thank you.
Sure. Happy to stay back and I can have a chat with you. Okay.
I would have raised my hand, but I have to sleep early. I have early morning ride tomorrow, so I'm gonna pass. Sorry.
See you guys.
See you guys. Good night. Good night. Good morning. Evening, everyone. We'll call it an evening now from here. Yeah, I'll just stop recording the call.